All right, we're about to go live.
All right, here we go.
Hey, this is Anthony Cora from Tora Tora, and you're watching Decibel Geek TV. Crank it up!
Crank it.
Hey, crank it up.
That's right. Hey, everybody out there in rock and roll land, welcome to Decibel Geek Friday Night Live. I'm Aaron Camaro, joined as always by Chris Sinzak. He's up there. And Rockin' Around Running right there. My main dudes, my best buddies. Our favorite time to get together and talk about rock and roll on a Friday night.
Are you guys hearing an echo?
Yeah.
Oh, that must be because Aaron's in a bare room there.
Yeah, I sure am. Look at that. Empty.
That's kind of
As
sad.
a matter of fact, that's what I'm doing tonight. I just wanted to check in with you guys for a minute because I've got everything all packed up. And so I can't really do this properly. As a matter of fact, here's one of the last boxes that I packed.
And you're sending that out to some lucky
Soundboard
Friday
and
Night Live
socks.
viewer.
Two things you wouldn't think would go together until you're moving. Soundboard and socks, perfect in that box together. Actually, it's got a little layer of bandanas on the bottom, then the soundboard, then socks. I have full confidence that the soundboard is going to make it safely through its travels.
Well, seeing the soundboard and socks makes me wonder if you're like a host of Cobras and Fire, because that makes sense for them.
Yeah, I was going to say that's actually my prized collection of Cobras and Fire jerk socks.
Oh, okay. You got to have your jerk socks.
Like the two most important things to me, my soundboard and my collection.
Very cool.
I hope they're not used, packed with your soundboard there. And that might not be good.
Used ones on the bottom.
Get your soundboard all sticky.
The buttons are all stuck. What the hell?
It's a sticky box. Hey, Mighty K.
Hey, Mighty K's in the house.
All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to hop in for a minute. Tell you guys to have fun. I got a big old giant desk I got to disassemble here in a minute. So have fun tonight. I know you're going to be hanging out with Anthony. Tell him I said hello. I'm looking forward to seeing him at Rockin' Pod this summer. So I'm going to jump off here and leave things to you guys.
Well, if you
All
get a
right.
chance, stop on back in after the
Jump in
second
when you
hour. Anytime you got a chance, stop in and say hi.
Okay. I'll try to get back with you guys a little bit later on.
We'll
right,
be
good
thinking
luck.
about you.
All right. Yeah.
Take care. All right. There goes.
Man, I thought he would never leave. Jesus.
Now we can make fun of him.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I hear you,
Boy.
Robert. Thank God it's fucking Friday. Man, I've been looking forward to this one.
Hey, Al Horter. Yeah, it's been God, I've had a busy fucking day today. And like I listening to me on Podcast Rock City was I on Podcast Rock City recently? It's been a while. That must be an older episode. But yeah, I've had a lot going on. I basically ignored my job all day to work on Rockin' Pod stuff. So there's a lot going on. Let's see. Rock and Ron, give us the status update. How are you doing this week?
It's still hanging in there. Still doing the best I can. Ready to fight the good fight.
Yeah.
Got my Triumph DVD collection complete now.
What does your shirt say? All I can see is fuck. Fuck cancer. Amen to that.
There you go.
All right.
I thought that was pretty appropriate.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, well, yeah, I've had a lot going on this week. Like we always big response to our Carmine Apiece episode with the Blue Murder albums Unleashed. I think that came out pretty good, and Rock and Ron in record time got the YouTube version put out. So we're up on all platforms now.
Yeah, as I say, I want to try to get out every chance I can to get things caught up and keep up with Decibel Geek here. Don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. So, and those albums Unleashed, I love those. So,
yeah,
I was wanting to not only get it up, but I wanted to listen to it myself, and yeah, did not disappoint.
Well, it was great because Carmine did most of the talking. The less that we're heard, the better. Thank you, Al. Appreciate it. And we have another albums Unleashed coming next week with another famous, we'll say a famous apice, not an apiece. So, and that one's really great too. I'm working on the edit while Aaron's doing the move, so I'm back in the editing
Could he
chair.
be related?
He could be, even though he pronounces his name differently. Are you guys going to the Van? I'm gonna try, Brandon. I don't know for sure. Probably not. I've got a lot going on these days, but I'm hoping to go. It was good to see you at the Talisman show last Saturday. It was great to finally meet.
Yeah, I wish I could have went to that.
And I have to be the grammar Nazi. You spelled decibel wrong. It's EL, not AL.
Everybody does.
Yeah, but I went to the Talisman show at Basement East last Saturday with my wife and Tracy, who helps run Rock and Prod with me, and we had a great time. It was a little weird, everything's socially distanced, and we all had to sit at tables, and if you got it from your table, you got to wear your mask and everything. It was a little odd, but Grimy and his crew did a great job, and it was pretty packed. And they did 2 shows that night, and it was a lot of fun. Bill Algie from Ages of Rock and his wife came, and got to have dinner and drinks with them before the show. So it felt good to go to a rock show again.
I'll bet.
It was a lot of fun. And Talisman, of course, did some Kiss stuff. They did like Baby Driver and some Kiss songs, some deep cuts, and
that would be nice.
They also did some other stuff. They did 5 to 9 from Hair of the Dog, and they did a song from the Rock and Roll Residency original EP, which was great.
Cool.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, we had a great time. It was great to see it. I saw a lot of friends there that I hadn't seen in a long time. So I think we're finally getting back to normal, guys. David Hudson, how many podcast spots are available? Well, the platinum packages are sold out, the ones where you get a table, but there's still plenty of Podcaster Gold and Podcaster Basic registrations available, where you can still come and network and go to the education track.
Well, you said you were already booked there, D-Hud, so...
Yeah, he's already coming. Yeah, I've got him
You better be coming. So he's asking for a friend.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, we're almost full on... I guess we'll do the Rockin' Pod update now, since we're on that subject. Talk about Culture Shock. I left from there and went to Bowie's. About 400 people.
Oh, 400
well,
people.
Don't get me started on Bowie's. They haven't really done things the right way, and more power to them and all. But I will not be going to Bowie's for any shows, because you got to do things the right way right now, guys.
We've had the same thing here. We've had a lot of restaurants and venues that saying the same thing. They're bitching about somebody else down the street that's just getting away with it. Never doing any restrictions, letting everybody come in, and
right.
Then you got everybody else that's trying to
it's a mix of
follow
stuff.
the laws and keep it up.
Yeah.
So
and for me personally, I mean, I think we're getting there. We're not quite there yet. You gotta have some sense of safety. Let's not be stupid about it, and
Yeah.
I'm not affiliated with Bowie's. I don't know anybody who runs Bowie's. I know friends that go there, and that's fine if you want to go there, but I've turned down several shows going there to hang out because of the way they run things. So but Grimey's my guy, and our friends at Mercy Lounge. They're doing things the right way, in my opinion. So I'll give them my business. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Bowie's with how they're doing things right now. Personally, that's just my opinion. John Verno headed to Rockin' Pod as a gold podcast. Thank you, John. I'm glad you're coming this year. Is that you in the picture? Because I love the hair. That's awesome.
Looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah, he does. You said it. I mean, with pimp glasses. Our friend David Cathy is on the stream tonight, so good to see you, David.
Yeah.
TN Rail fan. I don't know what that means.
No, I'm doing the same thing here. We got certain venues that are not following the restrictions, but then the main venue that I've been going through, that I go through the Wolfpack shows that we do the Wolf Den on Decibel Geek TV a while back. Haven't done one in a long time, but they mostly book through a place called The Venue, and really awesome place. And they've been strict with their guidelines and following it, and they're just starting to be able to open up and have some shows. And they actually got Buck Cherry coming up here May 8th. Oh, okay. And I'm hoping to get out for that one, especially now that Billy Rowe is in
he's in
there now. From Jet Boy is in Buck Cherry now, so
that's cool. I will say I saw Buck Cherry at a radio promo concert. I don't know how many years ago. It was when Time Bomb was coming out, and it was Buck Cherry, Black Stone Cherry, and Saliva. But Buck Cherry was by far the best band of the night. They were really good live. You know, I'm not a big Buck Cherry fan. I met
Black Stone Cherry. They're good guys.
They're good guys, but Buck Cherry live was really, really good. I will give them credit where
I've only seen them at Rocklahoma, which is big outside venue. It's not the best sound, and so I'm really wanting to be able to catch them in a little club environment and hopefully get to meet up with them.
Right.
Hey, my longtime friend, Tim Gibson, my brother for about 35 years here.
Oh, cool.
From Ohio.
See, people don't come out here for me and Aaron. They come out here for rock and roll. David, Cathy, are we going to be shuttled from the hotel? We're going to drive Friday. Well, yeah, we had a deal last year in place with a bus company to do a shuttle to the pre-party and back, but that bus company, as a lot of companies have over the past year, have gone out of business. So I think you're going to have to Uber it probably if you don't want to drive. So sorry to disappoint, but just could not work a deal to make that. I asked them, like, are you guys available to do it? They're like, we went out of business. Do you want to buy a bus for $10,000? Like, no, I don't want to buy a bus, but thanks anyway. Shows are slowly turning Steel Panther. Yeah, I saw Steel Panther.
I saw the video that Brandon put up.
Oh, did you?
Steel Panther on there, yeah.
They're playing out here at a place called Hop Springs Brewery soon. But yeah, I'm not sure. I might go to that show. I think maybe it's tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'll go. I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
I'm just happy.
It's nice to have shows again.
We're getting on that path,
Yeah. No, I'm just glad shows are coming back. We're getting there.
I know it's been over a year, so
Nate Camaro, he was on for the first few minutes, but he and his wife are moving tomorrow, so they're doing last minute box packing right now. So, and yeah, go ahead and make your joke, box packing. But yeah, he might pop in later. I don't know, but Anthony Corder from Tora Tora is going to be on with us in just a minute. I know some of you are tuned in to see him, and we've got some fun stuff playing with Anthony. So just hang in there for a couple of minutes and let us get our little introductions out of the way. It's the Ron Show. Yes, it is the Ron Show. I'm just hanging out. Like I said, I definitely better Uber it. I normally can't stand by the end of the night, much less drive. Well, that's the goal with the Rockin' Pod pre-party. We want you to not be able to stand and walk. So, yeah, just drink plenty of alcohol while you're there. Badass.
You did make a last-minute announcement here that I caught on Facebook just a couple hours ago. Good score on that one. I was pretty shocked with it.
Did you put the image in the thing here?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so Miss
Got it.
Pamela DeBar, a legend, is going to join us this year for Rockin' Pod. If Pamela, like very famous groupie, dated Jimmy Page and several other rock stars, and wrote a great book called "I'm with the Band." And
Yeah, I read that.
she's going to be coming. She's also on the Pantheon Podcast Network. She has a show called Pajama Party with Pamela DeBar, and a great podcast. And she's going to be joining us this year. So yeah, excited to meet her in person finally. So that's going to be cool.
Same here. That's going to be nice. Yeah. You surprised me here and there. People I would never even think of that you're coming up with that are pleasant surprises here.
Yeah, there's some other ones we're working on that are going to be surprises to you, I think, too. So Taylor Swift's coming this year. I'm just kidding. Just ask Mooger Fooger about standing by the end of any show at the Rockin' Pod. Well, okay. Well, we aim to please. So celebrating rock and roll and destroying livers every year. All right. So
hey, we got to get that shirt made. Yeah.
The Rockin' Pod guest list is ridiculous. Yeah, it's shaping up to be something else this year. Really excited. So our guest, it's now after 7:15, and our guest is backstage. Give me the thumbs up if you're ready to go, Anthony.
Speaking of
all right,
Rockin' Pod guests here.
You do the intro, Ron.
All right, we got what I call the nicest guy in rock and roll. This guy's one of the first ones I've met working with Decibel Geek, and seen him many times after that, and he is always a pleasure to hang out with, and got his infectious smile that'll make anybody happy. So here we go with Mr. Anthony Quarter from Tora Tora. I still fucked it up.
Even got applause for you. There you go.
What's happening?
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
Good to see you. How you been?
Man, I'm on cloud nine, man. I actually bumped into you about a week ago, and I've been just so inspired, man. We got to get out, and I'm vaccinated, and I got to go out and see some live music, and it just felt good to see everybody look in their eyes, hug them if they were okay with, hugging each other. Man, I'm serious, man. The Talisman, when I went to see them, they're so talented. They're so down to earth. And it was just inspiring night, man. I guess that's what it was. I woke up the next day and I don't even know how to describe it. I had missed it so much, and seeing everybody in the community, and it just gets, I'm so hopeful. I know that's where we are, man. It's springtime. The weather's beautiful. Things are opening up. Shows are getting announced. We all want to hug each other and, spill our beers all over each other and get down there. I'm fired up. We're ready to go see everybody. So
yeah,
it's amazing. And I'm super excited for you guys, man. The Rockin' Pod Expo coming up August 7th, I think, is the day.
Yeah.
The tour guys and I are going to be there. I know Keith and John have committed. They're going to be there with me. And we're just thrilled, man. We're super indebted to you guys. I hope you know that all these podcast guys, you, Chris and Ryan and everybody, for just giving us a platform, man, and giving us a voice, a way to catch up with our tribe and our community, our culture, and all that kind of stuff. It's super important for us. We're all social beings, man. We got to get around each other and interact and all that kind of stuff. And y'all have provided that for us. And when we were working on this album,
Bastards of
Beale.
Great record.
Awesome.
Had an opportunity to come and do the Rockin' Pod. It was at the end of August that year, and we had just finished the record. We had just wrapped up the final mixes, and we got to come in and see all the podcasters and do interviews, and it was amazing. It had been a long time since we had new music out. We were super chomping at the bit to get out and tell everybody about it, and everybody was just so gracious with their time. They let us come on and get on the podcast with them and talk to their audiences. And it really helped us, man. That was in August. The record actually came out in February. So we dropped a couple of singles before the record actually dropped, with a video in February the next year. So
yeah, we
did some sneak peeks, to give some people some ideas of what the record might sound like. And man, what a crazy experience that was, man. I'm telling you, the Bastards of Beale we were like everybody else. We were kind of wondering what it was going to sound like. And because it had been a second since we had been in the studio. And it was amazing. It was so good. I don't even know if really I've had a chance to talk to y'all about it, but the experience itself was we recorded at Sam Phillips Studio down in Memphis. And if your listeners haven't are not familiar with that studio or Sam Phillips, he discovered like Howlin' Wolf and Elvis and Roy Orbison and Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis Presley, little guy named Elvis Presley.
I've heard of him. Yeah,
amazing.
He's pretty good.
He had Sun Records. He sold it to RCA, and when he did, he moved down the street on the same block in Memphis. He got an auto body garage. He gutted it, and he built his studio to the specs that he wanted. And the echo chamber, you can't take pictures of it when you go in there and you do a little tour or something. They won't let you take cameras in there. It was a really unique setting. And for me, man, I was so inspired because my heroes had recorded there. Robert recorded there. He was one of my idols growing up. And it was just awesome to be in that room. We thought about all the history, all the people that had recorded there. And we went in and kind of approached that record live because of the kind of the setting we were in. They did a kind of speaking of Robert Plant, we kind of did a mic setup on the drums that were kind of similar to some of their old recording techniques for John. And we wanted to get that feeling of how it would sound when you were with us live. We had kind of been out, we had done some shows, 2017, 2018, kind of building up to that. And then 2019, man, we got busy. We were super excited. We went all the way from Maine all the way out to the Whiskey on the Strip in LA. So we went all the way across the country and got to go to some markets we'd never gone to before. So it was awesome. And we did see a lot of people that were like family to us, man. They walked up and had our T-shirts on and they said, man, you don't remember me. And I go, I remember sitting on the bus with you. And I blinked and it's been like this whole amount of time has gone by. I remember sitting there having a cocktail with you. But it was like seeing family, going back out on the road. It really felt like that to us. And we loved just seeing them and hearing them sing with us. And they were really nice about the new material. A lot of people want to hear Walking Shoes and all that stuff, but they were into the new stuff. They listened. And man, I was talking about the residency too, the rock and roll residency guys that do the Talisman stuff too. They inspired a song on that record, man. The Sons of Zebedee, the opening one.
That's my favorite song on the record. Well,
we were kind of thinking, all of our fans helped us write that record. We were thinking about all these characters and the stories we got to talking about just how awesome it was that we're still able to do music together and all that. But we kind of created a culture in Memphis when we were growing up of community, man. It was because we were underage. People didn't have a place to go hear music. So we had this warehouse place we used to have, and it was open to anybody. Nobody judged you. We had everybody, all different lifestyles and different high schools, all kind of different people mixed together. And the music brought us together. We had a good time and everybody came in and partied, and we kind of started thinking about that. And it reminded me of the residency up here in Nashville. How they started out on the little patio, over on
Dan McGinnis
there. And it grew into the Mercy Lounge, the things that they were doing and the guests that they had. And they had created that, music gives you that sense of belonging, man, that community with each other, and that we all kind of crave. And they did it. And it was so organic and authentic and just everything about it, man. You never knew who was going to be there. Every person that got on the stage and started singing just blew you away, or played an instrument. And it was awesome. It was so cool to see that. And they were really inspiring. And we thought about running those kind of stories parallel to each other, of just about us getting together and people having a place to be united, together. Everything was kind of crazy going on at the time. And we thought about all the things that we were all going through. And we said, man, it's just great that we can all get together. And for a minute, you forget about everything else that's going on. You forget about your bills and your health and politics and all those things that kind of drive us apart or have us worried just with life. And it was about getting together and having a good time. So
yeah. And that, I'm a Nashville native. So, growing up here, through the 80s and everything, when all the bands I loved were out in LA, you know, to have it come full circle at Dan McGinnis, and
Yeah.
you know, I'll be in the audience, you know, and I'm friends with Jeremy, Ryan, and Phil, and then looking to my right, and there's Don Airey and Roger Glover from Deep Purple, and you know, there's all these people. Paul Stanley's kid is, you know, hanging out, and it's just like, what happened in Nashville? Like, this is like the most amazing. You know, Nashville has become rock and roll central. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really has, man. I that kind of helped me find my tribe here. You know,
Yeah.
I was here working with the record labels and music publishing and all that kind of stuff, kind of behind the scenes in the entertainment business. And when I found that group of people, I just said, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I mean, that's just, I couldn't wait. Matt Farley, you know, he's like just blew me away the very first time I saw him singing. I just went, oh my God. And he was so funny. I walked over and I said, you're one of the best singers I've ever heard. And he goes, I'm not a singer, I'm a drummer. I mean, he's so talented, but everybody was so just humble to earth. And it was great to see everybody come together like that. It was
well, and I, you know, I got starstruck meeting you for the first time because it was before a show at Exit In, and I go back when Gold Rush was still Gold Rush, and I was over there, and you were hanging out with Brandy Goldsboro.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know, Anthony from Tora Tora is here. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And she's like, yeah. And so I met you that night, but like, you know, and I've told you this before, like but like I always had like a certain amount of pride for Tora Tora because they were a Tennessee band.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, like in 1988 or 89, like MTV, this is when, you know, the rock and roll was really on top, and it was so on top that, you know, Headbangers Ball wasn't enough, and they would do like these things called like Hard 30 and Hard 60 during the daytime, and they would play rock videos. And I'll never forget, Hard 30 showed the video for Guilty, and that was the first time I ever saw Tora Tora.
Oh, okay.
And then whoever was the DJ or the VJ at the time goes, that's Tora Tora out of Memphis, Tennessee. And I'm like, what? It's like a band like this is from Tennessee? Because that was unheard of back in the 80s, you know?
Yeah.
And so I always had like a point, and I went out and, you know, and I bought Surprise Attack, and, you know, and then I got Wild America, which we had you on to talk about in depth. And, you know, Wild America is still one of my favorite records.
Oh, man.
But, no, but to have you thank us for like Rockin' Pod is like a dream come true, because, you know, like you guys came and did our pre-party in 2018, and it was an amazing show. It was you guys and then Punky and Frank from Angel, and we packed that place out, but Tora Tora really brought a lot of fans to that show, because you go into that part with Phantom Rider with the whole sing-along part, and the whole crowd is singing along. And I was just like, this is just freaking magical. It was a great night.
Special night. It was a special night for us, and it felt good to play here. We didn't play Nashville a lot when we were touring. If we got this close to home, we kind of headed on into Memphis, you know.
Right.
But yeah, a couple of things you said. Brandy, for one, I'm indebted to her because she introduced me to Phil and all those guys, man. She told me, she said, man, there's a bunch of dudes you need to meet. And I was so happy that she introduced me to all them. And being based out of Tennessee, we never made the leap. We never went to LA to record or anything. We always stayed in Memphis. We did all of our recording until this last record at Ardent Studios down there. So the owner of the studio became kind of a father figure to us. His name was John Fry. He passed away about 6 years ago. But every decision I'd ever made in my life since I've been in the music business, I talked to him, whether it was being a singer or working at a record label or publishing, or talking to him about just life, you know, experiences that was going on related to the entertainment industry anyway. Yeah. I would talk to him. And man, Ardent is a really, really cool, if your listeners don't know anything about it, they should look it up. A lot of people there. I remember us being there for the Wild America sessions, and Leonard Skinner and the Allman Brothers came in back to back. And so we would just be standing there getting a cup of coffee or something around. It was like Greg Allman was standing there, you know, and it's like, God, man, this is like blowing me away.
Yeah. That's dream come true stuff right there.
Yeah. It was a really special place. And a lot of people went there for a destination kind of recording because of the history of the studio. So many records had been cut there, and the engineers that were there were incredible. You know, John Fry was kind of like the fountain to the place because he kind of started it, but all of his proteges all took off, and they were very successful and had lots of success. So
Yeah.
he was a great guy, and he gave us a chance, man. We always, I think about that as we were introduced to an engineer there. I think we had won a band competition or something, and we had a day to go in there and record or something. And there was a guy named Paul Ebersole he just happened to be the engineer on duty that day. He was kind of young like us, and we went we were working on an EP. We had recorded some of it at another little studio called Powerhouse. It was in a guy's backyard, and he was kind of the guy that introduced us to recording in the studio. But we went into Arden, and Paul just saw something in us. He said, "Man, I want to talk to the studio and see maybe if I could, talk to you guys about doing a production deal where they would, help us with the recording cost and all that, and then kind of introduce us to some people in the industry." And Paul actually lives up here in Nashville now. The crazy story about this is I've talked to him through the years. We stay in touch. But my son goes to high school at a school out in Franklin, and there was a tour. I went out there to help with an open house or something,
Mm-hmm.
and I was walking in a stairwell, and I heard kind of this voice go, "Hey, what kind of drum set is that in that room back?" They
You knew who it was.
audio equipment stuff at the school, and it caught my attention, man, when the person said it. And I kind of looked down the stairwell, and it was Paul, and he was going through learning about school for one of his children. So it was really funny. We both just freaked out and saw each other and said, "This is crazy that we have children." That's just a crazy thought anyway. So we're like, oh my God, we have to be responsible for somebody else. But
Right.
we went through a lot of stuff together. I mean, it was awesome. He worked on that record with Joe Hardy. They produced the first Surprise Attack record together, and it was just such a cool experience, man. I mean, we were so new to the recording process, and they were super patient, and they were super skilled and talented, man. When we think back on that now, in retrospect, we're still super proud of those records, man. That Wild America, and even the stuff that we cut, some of the demo stuff that was out for Revolution Day and stuff that was cut.
That's good stuff too.
It just sounded really good, and people are still going down there. They still go down there. But man, I'm telling you, when I bring this up to you, I get all these flashes, these images and memories and stuff.
Well, on that note, I prepared a few photos that I pulled from the internet and from the Tora Tora Facebook page. I wanted to just kind of throw up some photos and get your memories of what's going on in the photos and what you think. You gave.
I didn't get pre-approval on this. No,
well, yeah, but I think you'll be okay with it. But let's go back way early. Who are these guys here?
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah, this is right when I met Patrick. Probably he was a couple of years ahead of me in high school. So this was probably, man, I might have been in 10th or 11th grade right there. That was right when we met. And Keith and John, I don't know if I told you this in the other times that we've talked, but they had a band before Tora Tora. It was called Lycanthrope. It was like a double guitar, kind of like an Iron Maiden, Judas Priest kind of band. And they had just kind of started moving on from that. And I was just telling Keith this story. I saw him a weekend or so ago. We were working on new material, and we were laughing about, our perspectives of what happened, like how we tell stories and stuff's really funny. And I remember going to audition. Patrick, and this is super dating myself, man, but Patrick at the mall, he approached me and said, "Hey, we're looking for a singer for our band." I was singing in like a little neighborhood band and had done some talent shows and stuff. And he said, "Do you want to come audition?" Mm-hmm. And so when I went over there, I took my acoustic guitar. I was going to do like some kind of singer-songwriter, sing Desperado or something by the Eagles. I don't remember what I was thinking. But anyway, I took my acoustic over there, and I walked in. I got it about 2 chords into the song, and they went, "Man, that's cool, but do you know any Aerosmith or some Cheap Trick?" I mean, they were doing like 2112, the first songs into Temple of Syrinx. He had like a little 50-watt Marshall and a little 50-watt PV, and he would do the it would go back and forth. I mean, when I saw them, I thought they were so advanced and successful. Like they had played a live gig out downtown in some, hole in the wall bar in Midtown in Memphis, and they had been in the studio. And so, I mean, I was so nervous that day I walked in, but they started talking to me, and I said, man, yeah, I could probably get through, a couple of these songs. I think we did Bad Company. We did Heartbreaker by Zeppelin. We did Can't Get Enough of Your Love by Bad Company. We did I Want You to Want Me, Cheap Trick. They did 2112 and were telling me I didn't sing on the first 30 minutes. But anyway, it wasn't that long, but we went through it was probably 10 songs. Toys in the Attic, that was one of the very first things we did. And I think ZZ Top, Tush. We had a handful that we kind of just went through.
Yeah.
And we just knew, like, right away. We kind of clicked, our personalities clicked. I was super excited. I was anxious. They were older than me. Keith and them were already out of school. They were kind of going to college and living life and stuff. They were free, And I just looked up to them kind of, at the beginning. And we did covers for a little while, but we started thinking we were kind of butchering them. So we said, man, instead of just messing up somebody else's song, let's start writing our own stuff.
Yeah.
So we kind of immediately kind of started pushing that direction, and we wrote some terrible songs. I'm really bad at the beginning. We laughed about some of the titles and stuff this past weekend. I haven't done this since I was a little kid, but I was at Keith's house we're working on new recording sessions, and we were doing some pre-production, and we said, let's go sit outside. And a storm was kind of blowing in, and we were worried about our acoustics. So we said, hey man, let's go sit in the garage. And I hadn't done this since I was in high school, man. We were sitting there, a huge storm, it's lightning, it looks like a tornado's coming. But we were sitting there, the wind's blowing, and you kind of thought about it. And I was like, this is how it was when I was in high school, man. I was sitting in my garage, I was strumming a chord. It was going to be like Phantom Rider or something, and staring at the sky, thinking about what's going to happen? What's this going to be like?
Yep.
What's the song going to say or whatever? But it was so fun. It kind of took us back, in our minds. We said, I haven't done that in so long. And it's so fun to think of that. And we've been friends for so long. I think that's what makes it so special for us, is we still enjoy just being around each other. We're still telling dumb jokes to each other. And we've been through so much together. I mean, we've been from, screaming on the top of the mountaintop to down in a deep, dark valley by ourselves, going through things, but we've always stayed friends. Each one of us at certain times has said, hey, I need to pull back for a minute. I need to, focus on myself or my family or whatever. And, but we never had any kind of huge, like, blow up, fight. Not saying that we didn't have our disagreements and didn't get along sometimes, but that's part of, being together. I mean, they're the closest things to brothers. I have one sister, one sibling, and so I never had brothers, but they're my brothers. And so we were always able to, if one of us, whoever it was, need to step away, we're just like, hey, take your time, and then we'll just pick up where we left off. And we definitely had some pretty long stints there where we were kind of stepping away and focusing on family and things like that. But that makes it's sweeter when we're together. We don't take it for granted. And doing the record for Frontiers was really amazing. I mean, they gave us an opportunity, and they had a platform like we were talking about before. They're following their crowd and stuff to introduce us to. So it helped us with our profile. So we were really happy to be aligned with them, and to get a chance to just get back out and play. It was really funny. We did a run, and we flew down to Texas and rented a van or whatever and got in it. And we were laughing. We're like, here we are, man, all these years later, we're back in it together. And we were so excited because it was at the very beginning of promoting the record. And, all those memories just came flushing in,
Yeah.
So over the past little while, we've been promoting this a little bit. I don't know if you're.
Yeah, the acoustic record. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we've never done this before. This was a acoustic live show that we did in Memphis. We had a really good friend that we grew up with. His name was Jim Green. That he started out promoting shows the same time that we started playing music. And so he was about 18 or something, and through the years, we kind of worked together, depending on the right opportunities. Like he knew, he started out doing kind of small venues and stuff, and then he worked his way up. He had a big amphitheater outside of Memphis where everybody, all the A-list people went. And so if he had one coming down the pike, he would call me and say, hey, y'all want to come down here and do one? White Snake's coming, or we're doing something for Wounded Warriors, and we got all these rock bands. So we stayed friends through the years, really long time. Unfortunately, he passed away last year. And so this record is kind of dedicated to him. He passed away unexpectedly, but the great thing was he talked us into doing this. We had never done this before. Keith wants to be on 10 through his Marshall. He doesn't like doing acoustic that much. And we started talking to Jim, and he said, "Hey man, I want to put you in this small venue. It's going to be really a unique setting, and it's going to be limited people getting in there. And y'all can just get in and kind of have fun and tell stories and play the songs you want to play." And as we started it kind of entertaining the idea, we said, "Hey man, maybe we could do some deep dives and just pull out some songs that we normally wouldn't play in the set and try to work those up acoustic." And so it was really creative. It was a lot of fun. And I think we played for about an hour and 20 minutes or something like that. We captured everything. He said, "I want you to record it." He said, I want you to get it, make sure that you record everything. We'll make sure we got everything in there. We didn't videotape it, but we did record the show. And it ended up, it came out pretty good. Keith's son actually worked on he's an audio engineer up in Chicago, and he worked on some of the recordings for us. So we just, we loved it. We had fun. And we had our hometown crew that was there. Some of these guys I went to high school with in like 9th grade, and they've been following our band and stuff since then. When I talk about family and stuff for our band, that's kind of what I mean. We've known these people a long time, and Memphis launched us, man. I'm telling y'all, without those guys that came down there, I mean, when we started playing, Patrick and I went to one high school, and Keith and John went to another one, and we kind of mixed those two groups of kids together to come see us play, and we had kind of a built-in audience right away. Whatever venue we went to, all those people showed up, and because of them, we all of a sudden we started getting all these gigs, and we played bigger and bigger rooms until we were just selling out on Bill Street and stuff. There's a place down there called the Daisy that we kind of lived in the place for a long time. But yeah, we think about all those people that, I mean, they were the ones when you were talking about Hard 60 and all that, they were calling back when you had to call in and vote and all that kind of stuff. And they did, man. I mean, they pushed it, and then they got us out in front of a national audience, and we just kind of carried what we had created there about, getting people together and partying and that kind of camaraderie and community and stuff out on the road with us,
Yeah. So you mentioned videos. So I found this one on your page. This is the making of Phantom Rider. Can you talk about the experience of making this video?
Man, this was crazy. The actual the script to this was based on what's the Arizona movie with I'm drawing a blank right now. Can't think of it.
Raising Arizona?
Yes, Raising Arizona. Believe it or not, that was the concept this guy had come up with. But we're out in California City. This is a lake bed. We were 1 million miles from anywhere. We were out there. There was a few RVs that you can't see that are on the backside of this picture, where we could go in and get some cocktails or something if we wanted to. We were there for about 3 days. This was crazy too, because we had been on the road forever. This single, we had been out for walking shoes for a really long time, and then Guilty came out, like you were talking about, and so this was the third one off of Surprise Attack. And man, we were road dogs at this point. We had been on the road forever. I remember we were asking if we could go home when this was over. We said, can we get back to Memphis? Is there? And they said, man, y'all got shows all the way back. We've routed you back to Memphis. So, I remember all of us thinking, we had these couple of days that we were there, and we were hoping we were going to just chill out for a second. But anytime we went out west, we would do press, and because we stayed based out of Memphis. So if we went out west, we would try to make the most of our stops. So we didn't get much downtime, but it was so fun. We were delirious probably by this point, but the whole video was the experience itself was pretty cool. I don't know if y'all remember this video or not, but they do a kind of a big explosion. I remember this, and it was garbage bags full of gasoline, man, that they took out in the middle of that lake bed, and they buried them, and then blew it up. And it was, man, when that went down, that was after we were done with everything. So we'd all had a couple of cocktails and was out there, and man, it was they put it on. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the whole experience was pretty crazy. We always kind of thought the Phantom Rider was going to be a live video. We wanted to get the crowd interaction and all that. So this to us was a little bit foreign. Just to be totally honest with y'all, we were kind of like not sure we were into that concept, but we loved how it looked, like the finished product of how they had shot everything and all that. They used some screens behind us and all that kind of stuff that was kind of, for back then, was pretty high tech. So,
Right.
But it was a learning experience, all of the videos and stuff were.
Was it, it was Mark Rosica that did the video for this one, right? Because Aaron and I interviewed him a few years ago and we mentioned it to him, and he recalled it being one of the more challenging videos that he had worked on because they were trying to do a lot of stuff visually with, newer technology and stuff. And he's like, the band was great to work with, but like the technology that I had to work with was so primitive at that time compared to what we have now.
Yeah, it was crazy. What somebody just hits a button now and can change the background and all that. I mean, they were in there like working on the swirl clouds and stuff behind us. But it was a lot of fun, and those videos were a lot more expensive back then.
Oh yeah,
very expensive. And the crew and all those people out there, that's the difference nowadays. You get a lot more bang for your buck. But and it was a great experience. We loved the A&M people. I still stay in touch with some of the promotion staff, and it was an independent record label when we joined them. They had everybody from Sting and Janet Jackson and Soundgarden and Extreme and all those bands were there. But if we started even backtracking before that, the heritage, the musical heritage of that label, man, the rock bands that were on it, we couldn't believe we were on that label. We were thrilled. We were just like, oh my God, this is just incredible,
Well, look at this here.
Look at my face, man. In this picture, I'm like, what's going on?
Dirty Young Boys of the Memphis Underground.
Yeah, this was while we were shooting Walking Shoes.
Yeah.
This was the first video, and man, you talk about nerve-wracking. This was crazy. We weren't very experienced at all, but we were really lucky. Ardent had a video production arm of the studio that was actually in-house studio, so they kind of helped coordinate everything with us. And the thing I thought that was so awesome is we got to shoot it in Memphis on Beale Street, and it was a place called Mr. Handy's Blues Hall, Blues Hall, and we got to invite some of our friends in there to be a part of it. Uncle Ben is the guy that's in the video with us. He was actually a blues musician, a street player that was on Beale Street. And the guitar he had was given to him by Billy Gibbons. It was a lightning bolt.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I went to Beale Street a lot, man, when we were growing up. We weren't old enough to get in, but I got to know some of the door guys, and they would, slip me in and just, try to keep me cool if it was something going on really good. But a lot of times I couldn't get in. The places we get capacity or whatever, and they tell me I couldn't get in, and so I'd be kind of wandering around out on the street, and I'd run into these guys and start talking to them. And the music was always great, y'all. I mean, I'm super biased. Like about Nashville and Memphis is just any little place that you walk up, musician wise, it could be a household name. There was just played, and they were just authentic, anointed, just people that just played and sang and just moved your soul, man. And he was a guy like that. He was really cool. He was kind of funny, and he agreed to do the video with the guys that were out scouting and stuff. And man, Walking Shoes, I'm telling you, it changed our life, man. And I remember Keith, that was a late song on the record. We were close to wrapping the record up, and Keith had that riff. And I remember he had a little apartment that we were over at his house writing songs, and I went in and he started playing that, and we were like, oh my God, what's that? That sounds kind of cool, and so we kind of worked it up, and we got in the studio, and then they were like, man, yeah, we're going to add this to the recording session. But it was such a crazy experience, man. That whole album, I remember, Keith and I were cutting grass for a living, man, when we were in Tora Tora at the beginning. Keith had bought a pickup to carry his equipment around in, and we started throwing some lawnmowers in there. My mom was real estate agent, and she had a bunch of properties. So we'd ride around, and I just remember us looking at each other going, wouldn't it be crazy if we could get in the studio and record a song and get it on the radio and get the studio? I mean, we were thinking all these big blue sky dreams, riding around.
Sure.
And all of a sudden it happened, and we were in these studios. And I mean, I was on these incredible, microphones and stuff, things that I had never been around before in my life. And the next thing we knew, they were like, hey, we're going to put this single out, and you're going to shoot a video for this. And then it just kind of took off on MTV, man. It was a really, really incredible journey together. Like, we went through a lot of crazy stuff right there at the beginning. We had never toured before the record came out. So we were discouraged. We didn't know anything. And then once we left Memphis, we did not want to go back. We said, leave us out here. There's a whole huge world out here. We asked the record company, we said, just book us solid. We'll just stay out here. We don't want to go home.
Right.
It's kind of what we did. We would run maybe, 6 or 8 weeks at a time, and then run home for a week or something and catch our breath. But we stayed
back out
about 6 years, man, honestly, just as fast as we could. And it was great adventures, man. I'm telling you.
But to grow up on, hard rock that was big at the time, and and then to imagine seeing, this when you're on your way up. I mean, like, that had to have been like pretty amazing. Like, there's Motley Crue on the cover, and there's your band name right there.
Yeah, man. It was insane. We couldn't believe it. And they would send people on the road with us to do interviews and ride the bus with us and follow us around. And I remember seeing the video on MTV, and we couldn't believe it. Like, watch it. We watched Headbangers Ball every weekend anyway, and then on there, and it was Headbangers Ball announcing Walking Shoes. And I mean, you could have just knocked us over. We couldn't believe it. We're like, oh my God, we're freaking on MTV. This, it was crazy. And I'm just glad that we got to experience the way we did, and that we all stayed friends, through all that. It was a bunch of craziness, and but we always thought, we kind of treated it like we knew that it could end at any second. So we said, man, let's just go have a great time. Let's just like riding the lightning. We just said, hey, this is crazy. We can't believe it's happening, but it stops tomorrow. We're just going to make the most of it while we're here. Sure.
Well, yeah, it's a great life experience to get, at the time, and you might as well soak it up while you're there. But I gotta say, Patrick's porn stash in this photo is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
So this reminds me of our EP era. This might have been, right before the Surprise Attack and all that kind of stuff. It's got to be a little bit later though, because Keith's got on a Z-Rock. Looks like a rock shirt on. So this may have been around the first album. But yeah, he sported that thing for a little while.
He needs to be driving a Trans Am and running from from Smokey.
Fucking bandit, man. It's crazy. Man, we just look like little kids in this picture. I can't get over it. I saw somebody had posted this online, and it's just blows me away, man. It feels like another lifetime.
Yeah. Well, and this is one of the more famous photos of you guys. Like, do you remember like who shot this and where you shot it at?
Man, that I think this may have been Mark Weiss. I'm not positive.
It looks like one of his shots.
I think it is. And this is for Surprise Attack. That was one of our first like A&M photo sessions and stuff. I have to think about this. This one, I get a couple of those guys mixed up because we work with a bunch of people. Normally when we went to LA, we would have a bunch of photo sessions and stuff to last us for a while, because when we left, we would be gone and stay on the road for a long time.
Yeah.
We worked with Mark, and then Niels Lozauer did some pictures for us. Man, I still love those. I see him. I've had the opportunity to bump into him a couple of times on the Monsters of Rock cruise, and he was so awesome, man. He was just made you feel at home and at ease. He introduced us to Mickey Big Mouth beer. I remember that. That was one of the when we were.
Have you seen the documentary on Zloz? It's a pretty great documentary.
I need to see that. I don't think I've watched that. I saw some of it I think they were playing it on the Monsters of Rock, and I watched some of it in my room.
He's I've never met the man, but he seems like quite a character.
man, just a sweet soul, man. He was
Yeah.
awesome. Some of those pictures, he did the poster that we printed and sold for Wild America, and it was like that was one of my favorite photo sessions that he'd ever done with us.
And I don't know if this is one of his, but here's another one I found that was from Metal Edge.
I think that's out on the road. I think that was backstage somewhere.
Okay.
In this one. We did photo shoots and stuff while we were out traveling, and we had some people doing articles. I'm not sure which one that is. That looks familiar. We look happy, so that must have been early. Dragged out or beat up to.
Yeah. And I found this. This is a pretty cool advertisement here for the Cult tour.
God, y'all, that tour was so awesome. I'm serious. It was. We were on that with Jason Bonham's band in the Cult, and it was our first arena tour. So we had done a ton of clubs. We had done some theater touring with Dangerous Toys and LA Guns, and then this was the first big opening act kind of slot that we got. And the first place we played was the Houston Summit in Texas. And I remember because we played early, the arena wasn't filled up yet. You know, we were kind of like on it probably, I don't know, 7:30. We had about a 30-minute set, maybe 30 or 40 minutes, just enough to get warmed up. And but I remember the lights went down and I could look across the empty room. You know, it just kind of, I couldn't see past the first 2 or 3 rows, but it was just darkness. And then there was like doorways and I could just see the people just filing in, you know, as the music started up and there was, you know, the lights went down and people started coming in. And that sound of that arena, man, it just went, Wah! And I mean, I just, the spotlight came on and I just went, I want to do this the rest of my life. I mean, I'm on that, whatever that is, I want to do that. And, but it was a huge learning experience for us because we had never done anything like that. It was big and we had a crew of people going with us. And we had always carried, 3 of our best friends were our crew guys. And so they had been with us the whole time, but we started adding, you know, lighting director people and merch people and all that kind of stuff. And really, really fun. And we ended the tour in our hometown in Memphis at the Coliseum where we had seen everybody, Van Halen, AC/DC, and everybody. I mean, we were on stage. Oh my God! Normally we're out there, and now we're here.
Well, it's the famous Mid-South Coliseum, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's a legendary not only for concerts but for wrestling.
Yes,
for wrestling.
Yeah, man. You had to be in on the wrestling, man. Growing up in Memphis on Saturday mornings, you had to know that. So
yeah, I mean, I was, you know, I grew up here in Nashville, so of course it got syndicated here to Nashville in the '80s. But you know, Lance Russell and Dave Brown doing the Saturday morning, the USWA, and you know, Jerry Lawler was like the king and everything.
Yes, yeah. It was crazy. We all watched that and saw it, and it was a cast of characters, and man, it was big business, man. You know, everybody was paying attention. It was a lot of fun, man. Memphis brings back a lot of memories for me, and you know, I love it. I've been in Nashville for 15 years. I love Nashville, but Memphis is always, you know, home for me, I think.
It was a special place, especially in the '80s. I mean, there was a cool scene going on at that time. You know, like my aunt and uncle lived down there, and they lived off Poplar. Yeah. And you know, we'd go down there and like I would you know, I'd buy baseball cards, but I would watch if we showed up on Saturdays, I'd make sure I watched wrestling because like and they would be like, Dave Brown's either the sports or the weather guy on the news, and they were like, he's the weather guy. Why are you watching him on the wrestling show? But you know, to me, it was a big deal because I watched it like Superstar Bill Dundee and you know all these wrestlers, you know, and Bill Dundee is still doing it to this day. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that. That's incredible.
He still goes out and makes appearances.
Jimmy Hart was down there in the Rock and Roll Express.
Yes.
I mean, I remember those cats, man. They were, you know, synonymous with the city. They were wild. But yeah, man, it brings back a lot of great memories. I'm really proud of, you know, the opportunity that I had while I was there, man. I would have never had Tora Tora if I wouldn't have moved there and been a part of that scene and all that. So
yeah, well, tell me about this picture here. I found this one.
Oh yes, man. So Hankian, he was our guide. He was an independent promotion consultant. He was based out of Amsterdam. He actually played in a band. We still stay in touch with him. Actually, this is during Wild America, so this was probably '92.
Okay.
Keith and I went on a European promotion tour together. So I think the guys, we had played in New Jersey somewhere, and they turned around on the bus and came to Memphis, and Keith and I took off and went to, I think we flew into Sweden, and we stayed over there, I think for about 2 weeks. We were over there promoting the record, and we had a European tour lined up, and unfortunately, John, our drummer, was at home in Memphis, and he had a biking accident and broke his arm.
Oh, wow.
And it was right in the middle of the promotion for the record. So we actually had a friend of ours from Memphis filled in for some dates. He didn't go to Europe. We had to reschedule that stuff, and we ended up getting our friend. It was actually Patrick's cousin. It was a guy named Russell Caudill, and I actually just saw him about a week ago. I haven't seen him in forever. And he went, the first place we flew to was Hawaii. We flew over there. It was a KNAC radio anniversary party. And I was laughing with Russell. He was a little bit older than us. He had a record deal with RCA, and he was kind of a standard musician on Bill Street. He had a house gig. He and his brother were drums and bass. And so John said, he had his cast on. He said, I'm going to go with y'all because I got to run the drum machine and all that. So he's going to fly with us. But Russell got on the airplane, and the first time we saw him to go on the road with us, he walked in and had a half gallon of vodka. It was when you could carry the liquor on the airplane. And we just went, oh my God, this is going to be nuts with this dude. And, he schooled us, man. He had kind of been through the system and everything. We were all probably about 10 years younger than him.
All right.
But he was a hell of a drummer. He could sing his ass off. You know, he was really good at singing harmonies and all that kind of stuff. And he knew it was limited. He knew he was only there for about 6 weeks or something. So, man, he tore it up while he was out there. He went totally crazy. We did the whole West Coast with him, and full of dates. And he's still a great friend. We love him. He saved us. We were busy and trying to promote the record and stuff. So it was a lot of fun.
That's cool. So I want to know what the aftermath of was from this photo.
Oh my God. This was complete chaos. It was so fun. This was probably my favorite tours that we did. We just we kind of clicked automatically with the Dangerous Toys guys because they were from Texas, so we kind of had a southern thing going. Right. And the LA Guns dudes were already established, and they had been touring. You know, they were kind of road dogs at that point. And I think when we met them, I think we started in like Dayton, Ohio. I think was the first gig, and the tour manager came and knocked on our door, and they said, "Hey, everybody, report down to the lobby at 7:00." And we went down there, and we were kind of intimidated. We hadn't ever done a tour with them, or it was a theater tour. We'd never done anything like that, and we said, "Oh, they must be laying some ground rules or something, you know, from the tour managers or something." But anyway, when we walked in, they said, "Man, welcome to the time of your life." They said, "We're just gonna have the best time for the next 8 weeks. We're together." And man, we tore it up. We eventually got banned from each other's buses, the Dangerous Toys guys and us. We had to be separated, and they in check. It was like herding cats at the end of the night, man. Everybody was tagging around and getting, and they were doing head counts, and we were just. Yeah. We had the best. I still talk to Jason to this day. He's one of the best singers. His voice is still great.
He's like one of the most underrated singers there is. I mean, he juggles like massive amounts of projects all the time.
Yes, man. He does all kind of projects, and he's still just super down to earth, man. He was always super talented and down to earth. But yeah. Oh my God, that tour. Those were so. We went to some of the most beautiful theaters. We would walk in and go, "Man, are we in the right place? This is crazy. This place is beautiful." You know, everything from the
somebody that saw you live, Kristen Schimbeck, that saw Stanley Theater in Utica, New York. There you go.
Oh man, yeah. Great, man. Yeah, awesome. We loved it. It was so fun, and we played someplace in San Antonio, I think it was. That the ceiling was painted, but it had stars in it, you know, like twinkle lights, so it looked like you were outside. You know, when I was strumming and playing, I remember I looked up and like clouds were going across. It looked like I knew I was inside, but those places were beautiful. It was really, really incredible. And all those guys were super to us. I mean, they knew that we were kind of new and figuring the ropes out, and we figured it out pretty quick. I mean, it took just a second.
Well, what bugs me is like you got the Cult, Dangerous Toys, and Tora Tora, and then you got LA Guns, Dangerous Toys, and Tora Tora. These are bills that I would have killed to have seen, but I was too young for my parents to allow me to go see these bands play. So like I feel like I missed out.
It was a lot of fun. We watched their shows every night. We would go, and man, I'm telling you, the Cult, that Ian guy,
Ian Asbury, wow,
great, man. Every night he would have 22,000 people in the palm of his hand. He was really good.
Well, like so I've shown a lot of cool photos tonight, but like let's finish off with the most important photo of all. What's your memories of meeting this guy here? This is a legend.
Ryan, love it, man. I'm serious. We always have a great time, man. We love it. He'd seen me a couple of times out in Denver, man. I think we were out there for my birthday, celebrating with the Wolfpack Productions.
Yeah.
Love it.
Would that have been maybe this night here?
Thank you guys very much, man. This is a special night.
That was, you don't get to spend your birthday like that very often. That was pretty awesome. It was great. Yeah, Anthony and them are, man, great host. We love the Wolfpack guys. They're amazing. We always have a great time. And Ron, we love seeing you out there, man. We always have a good time seeing you.
I love seeing you guys too, man. I've caught every show that I could possibly catch with you guys, from Denver to Rockin' Pod to South Haven.
Oh yeah,
freezing my.
Oh God, we
freezing
gotta
my
talk about
nipples
this.
this is gotta be the coldest.
Oh my God.
Oh man,
That show was crazy because like every week leading up to it was beautiful warm weather, and then like I show up for this and like I met Ron and Don there, and I'm like, good God, it's fucking cold. It was like 30 something degrees for that. It was so cold that night. It was crazy.
Man, I'm telling you, it was cold in the daytime, but man, when the sun went down, it really got cold.
It was freezing. But like the fans were out there for you, and like I came to see you guys, Every Mother's Nightmare, and Roxy Blue,
Yes.
and like I know Brett Michaels was the headliner, but like Ron will tell you, we were like, Brett Michaels is coming on. Okay, let's go to the bar now because we saw the bands.
We saw him at all. No.
Man, I'll tell you this: the Every Mother's Nightmare, Roxy Blue, and Tora Tora. That's a hard combination to get. That we play together a lot at home, and we love all those guys. We grew up with them. They're all super talented, man. They're making great music now. I still talk to Todd all the time, and I see Rick a lot. And but we all came along at the same time. We were kind of all cutting our teeth at the same time, and it was so exciting in the scene in Memphis because it was active, man. People were doing original music. We had a couple of places to play, like the Daisy, that supported original music. And the local radio station, believe it or not, everybody's streaming nowadays. But back then, the radio stations did their local only shows, and that was kind of a coveted spot. You try to get on there because of the reach of the radio, because of where Memphis is located. You're hitting Arkansas and Mississippi and Alabama and Tennessee, and those DJs were awesome. And when I was talking about we owe and should credit a lot of people. There was a guy named Malcolm Riker that got on our stuff really early on that EP that we did, the little Tora Tora 5-song EP. And because of his support and stuff, we became a regional, like, top 5 requested song. And all of a sudden that got the record people's interest, and he was really promoting us and pushing us. So we're indebted to him a lot. And the guy that signed us to A&M told us, he said, I knew I was going to sign you. He said, I flew into Memphis, I got my rent-a-car, and I turned the radio on, and your song was playing. And I mean, get any luckier than that, you know?
Right.
But it was because Malcolm was there, and he did that for a lot of bands. He helped it. But they had things like a producer showcase. There was a lot of activity in the studios. People were doing production deals and shopping bands. And I guess we were feeling the trickle over from the Strip. You know, it kind of came over across the country. Everybody was kind of thinking about all that stuff. And it was competitive in the sense that everybody was trying to do their best, but we also, it was kind of in a camaraderie to it too. We were like, hey man, if they're doing good and they get people looking at them, it's going to help us because it's going to get some attention in the, in the scene. So
Right.
kind of rooting for each other. There was 3 or 4 bands that we played a lot with back in the day. Dots was one of them that gave us some of our first, gigs. I think they paid us like $50 the first time we opened up for them, and we just thought that was the coolest thing in the world. That we
Well, it's like you're getting paid to play music, right? Yeah.
thought it was funny, and we're still friends with them to this day. John, our drummer, is in a band with the singer from that band. It's called Fever Tree is the name of that group.
Yeah, good band.
And so we just love those dudes. I mean, that whole community down there, we've all known each other and grew up together, and we were just proud to be a part of it,
Yeah. Well, it's like, and I found another thing I want to share. I found this like here is an old review of you guys playing at Mud Island back in the day.
This was the launch of Wild America in our hometown amphitheater. It's a place called Mud Island. It holds about 5,000 people. We broke an attendance record that night on that show, and it was us, Roxy Blue, and Wildside. They were actually, Roxy Blue and Wildside were going to go out and do some shows together.
That's a great lineup.
Now you're talking.
It's probably in my top 5 of everything we've ever done. We had the Memphis Horns on stage with us that night. We had a guy named Greg Redding that played the B3. So on like Faith Healer and all those songs, we had the B3
Wow.
or the Memphis Horns, y'all.
Amazing.
They were amazing, man. I'm serious. We met those guys, and I felt like I had known them my whole life. The minute they walked in the room, they were just so humble. They had probably played on like 300 #1 records. Yeah, they played on everything from Otis Redding and the Stack stuff to they played with Elvis. They were on tour with Sting. Robert, they did the what do you call it? The Dead Weather stuff with Jack White. But anyway, we met them. It was in the 90s, so they were out with Sting and the Robert Cray band. But they talked to us about being an interracial group of people traveling around in the 60s in a car together. And they said, man, we would be hungry and we would be scared to pull over because we thought we'd get killed. I mean, they would talk to us about the things that they'd gone through. And we were probably 21 or 22, but they were kind of like mentor type guys to us. I mean, looking back, we weren't thinking of it that way at the time. I just remember something that was really funny, man. When we were rehearsing with them, we had a studio that was about a block away from Ardent. And it was old Jingle Studios from the 70s. So it still had the glass in it, the 2-inch glass and the big old doors that separate all the sound.
Mm-hmm.
And they came in, they were working with us. Well, every once in a while they'd go, I need to go get a breath of fresh air. And they'd wander out of the thing. We were working on an arrangement or something. And man, they did that about 3 or 4 times. And I said, man, I need to go get a freaking fresh air. What the hell's going on? And I walked out and they were getting a little sip of something,
Yeah.
And I said, oh, hey, man, I need a breath. And they said, well, we're out. And I said, you're in luck, man. There's a liquor store like a block from here. Hop in my Jeep. That little white Jeep is in Amnesia. I had it back in. And they got it. And y'all, I thought I was the coolest person. With me. The top was off. I was driving and I pulled up to the liquor store and they went in and got them a little half pint of whatever it was.
Nice.
I want one of those. I got me one. And I just thought I was living in, and Wayne and I stayed really, really close, the trumpet player. And he was so cool, man. When I was, going out on dates and stuff like that, I was talking to him about somebody I might go on a date with. And he goes, hey, you need to come over to my house for dinner. And he goes, you can come in and show her the records. He goes, we'll have dinner and I'll talk you up real good. I mean, it was really funny, man. We did it and he would get his trumpet out with a little mute on it and I'd play guitar and it was just so fun. And years later, when I moved up here, he was here in Nashville for about 14 years. So I reconnected with him up here and spent time with him. And he was just, man, what a sweet soul, man. That guy was just amazing. They were just so good. And we're so proud of those songs, Dead Man's Hand and Nowhere.
I love that.
We did a song called Memphis Soul that they played on. And it was so cool when we worked with them. I got to bring some of those blues musicians from Bill Street that I was friends with that I used to go see all the time. There was a soul singer named James Govan that played down on 4th and Bill. He played at the Rum Boogie Cafe. And I loved him. He was about as big as a matchstick. He wore a little captain's hat and a little vest. and throw beads out to the women. He always had girls all around him. I just thought he was the coolest thing in the world. And so I got him, and I took him to the studio when the horns were there. They all knew each other from years before, and so they all got to be in the studio, and we'd go in there and listen to music and hang out and talk. And it was just such a cool experience, man. That whole time, that era through the Wild America time, we had gained some experience. The first one was just overwhelming. We were just like, what is going on? We're signed to a deal, and it was like a blur, But the second time, we kind of knew the system, and we kind of knew how everything was going, and it just felt a lot more comfortable,
Yeah. Well, I still say I love Surprise Attack, and that's the one that tends to get the most attention because of Walking Shoes. But to me, Wild America is like your crowning achievement. I still think it's the best album you ever did, and although I love Bastards of Beale too, it's a great return to form. And the fact that you did it in Sam Phillips' studio was great because it's got that Memphis history tied to it. But so what's on the horizon for Tora Tora? Are we going to get a follow up to Bastards of Beale?
Yes, we're working on material. Believe it or not, we had studio last year. We had studio time booked, and it was in March. And we said, hey, man, let's push it to May. This stuff will blow over in a month or so, and we'll be in the studio. And we had everybody else that we were just going to hit the pause button. But I've been in contact with Keith, of course, through all this, and we've been steadily writing. And it was actually kind of as weird as it sounds, I'm kind of glad that we didn't go in. We kind of waited a minute because we've written some more stuff since then and got together and done some new arrangements on some of the things that we had. Now that we've lived with it for a second, that Bastards of Beale was really fast. We went in, just everything, the pre-production and everything. The band worked for a really long time on their arrangements and everything, and I just kind of skidded in at the last second because of time management kind of things that we had going on. And but this time, I think we're gonna be in good shape. We've kind of had time to live with it. We're going to do a little bit of different recording setup this time with John and the drums. I think we're going to spend a little more time on that because his was pretty live at last time, and we're going to give him some time to kind of get his drums sounding the way he wants to. It was funny when we kind of compared those records, because Wild America, we wrote that record for like 2 years. We were touring the record and recording, and then we tweak something and go back and remix it and all that kind of stuff. But I do love that record. That's one of my favorites. We spent a long time working on those songs and put a lot of work into it. And but Bastards of Beale was just a different feeling. We just said, hey, we're going to go in, and it's going to be like you're seeing us, like if you walked in somewhere we were playing.
No, I like the immediacy of it, though. Yeah. I like that it's like, this is who we are right now, and let's just go in and knock the stuff out. And I love it, and I love the history of where you record. Are you going to record again at Sam Phillips, or are you going somewhere else?
We're actually going to do it a little different this time. I think we're going to do it at a studio down there, Young Avenue Sound, I think is kind of where we've been thinking about hanging our hat for a second.
Okay.
Yeah, we're super excited. I think we just finished doing pre-production and arrangements on like 8 songs.
Oh, cool.
We'll probably end up recording about 13 or 15 of them. And then I'm not sure how we're going to let this one out. I don't know if we'll let them out one at a time and then do the record, or if we're going to do a whole project out at one time. We're kind of thinking about our approach and everything this time because it's been a long time, man. Since Bastards of Beale, it's like we're kind of feeling like, man, it's been a minute.
Well, that's kind of like the big question with bands these days. I've talked to some other people that they're like, well, we're just going to release singles, and then once we have enough singles out, we're going to put a record out. I think the model's changing over time is like how you want to go about doing it, right?
Yeah, and we have a lot of songs. Those ones I'm talking about are just the ones that we've decided that are going to go on the Tora project. Keith and I we're writing all the time and have a bunch of other acoustic things, and he's got a bunch of rock stuff. And but yeah, we're kind of thinking that like, what'll be the approach this time? We love putting the projects together, and I think everybody's going to be excited. I went with him this past weekend and was going through it, and we hadn't seen each other since October. We do Zoom and whatever writing sometimes, but in person hanging out. And I had forgotten some of the songs that we were working on, and we started playing them in the studio and all that stuff. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot, man. I was excited about this. And this is like, So we're newly inspired. But anyway, man, yeah, we want you guys to stay in touch with us. Y'all look us up on toratoramusic.com. You can find us on social media. That's us on there answering you and talking to you all the time. And you can stream us on all the digital platforms, Spotify. You can check us out on there. And we love hearing from you guys, man. We love it when you tell us where you're listening from and where you're watching. I'm doing these little Sunday afternoon things, so I love hearing from y'all that way. And it's kept us connected. So y'all stay in touch with us. And, man, we're most excited about August 7th. We can't wait to see everybody.
So like I haven't even got to publicly – I publicly announced you, but also Anthony now – John and Keith are all from Tora Tora going to be coming to Rockin' Pod on August 7th, so you got to come.
Yeah, we can't wait. It's going to be a bunch of vendors there, a bunch of your favorite artists, great people during the podcast, and they're going to be destroying their livers. And
that's what we do.
Yeah,
and Todd Poole and the Roxy guys are going to be there.
They'll be destroying their livers too.
Yes. Yeah. They're very excited. I know, man. And I saw that Todd and them just did some shows. I know he was happy to get out on the road and do a few shows up there with Brad Lee and everybody. So,
yeah, and I think I talked to Bill Chavis today, and I think the Every Mother's Nightmare guys are going to be coming too. So the whole Memphis Mafia is going to be probably coming.
Oh man, that's a good. Man. That's good. That's good stuff. Man.
That's gonna be a party in itself, just right there.
It will.
It sure will. Well, listen, y'all, man, I appreciate y'all's time so much. Thank you for having me on here. And like I said at the very beginning, thank you for giving me access, man.
It's been great to catch up. And thanks for your support of Decibel Geek and Rockin' Pod and everything. And it's good to call you a friend. And I hope you don't mind me bringing up some baby pictures from your past tonight.
Yeah, it's great. It brings back a lot of great memories, man.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Anthony, and it was great to catch up, and we'll see you in August.
Thanks, Anthony. See you in August.
Y'all have a great night, man.
You too. Bye-bye. That's Anthony Corder.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Always awesome guy to talk to.
Always a good guy, and he even went over time with us tonight, so I appreciate that from him. So, yeah, that was Mighty K is excited. She just can't hide it. She's about to lose control. She thinks she likes it. Tuck Watts, thanks for all you do, Anthony. Yep. Thanks for being on here with us. So, yeah. So, people seem to enjoy that one. Oh, applause. There you go. Or does that say applesauce? I don't know. Applause. But yeah, that was fun. And of course, Ron, I snuck your photo in. I made sure I got that in there too.
I've seen that. Yeah.
So we should, we got a little bit of time left. Should we do a rock and roll show and tell? I got a few vinyl albums I want to talk about real quick.
Okay.
So yeah, here's a little rock and roll show and tell. Just some stuff I pulled from my collection. We lost a legend this week in Jim Steinman, so I've got my Jim Steinman vinyl here with the hype sticker.
Yeah.
And that's him right there. And I bought this because of our good friend Greg Troyan. I bought this a year ago because he kept bugging me about checking out Jim Steinman's Bad for Good, and I bought this purely because of him. I still need to listen to it, but I like what he did with Meatloaf. I still need to listen to this record.
It's also amazing how much he did for other people too. That you just don't realize. Like, what was that? Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart was a huge success. That was Jim Steinman.
Yeah.
And so many others besides Meatloaf. But the stuff he did with Meatloaf. I mean, they were epic Broadway songs, that would tell a story, and that was just awesome. I love the Bat Out of Hell album and other stuff that Meatloaf has done, and that's a lot of because of Jim Steinman.
I watched the Meatloaf TV movie on YouTube today. Did you ever see the Meatloaf TV movie that came out?
I think I seen it a long time ago, but
it's pretty bad. But I found a couple. There's like 2 really interesting cameos in this movie that I didn't realize until I watched it again.
Okay.
The woman that plays Meatloaf's mom played Dirty D in Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Same actress.
Dirty D?
Yeah. Do you remember like the 3 thugs? It was like
Oh,
Chopper
okay.
and Slime and the redheaded girl.
Okay.
The redheaded girl played Meatloaf's mom in the TV movie. And then the other one was like when Meatloaf makes his comeback in the movie and he's got like his backing band for I Would Do Anything for Love, but I Wouldn't Do That, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The guy playing guitar, one of the guys playing guitar is Jason Ebbs, who was Peter Criss's lead singer for the band Criss in the 90s.
Huh.
And I met Jason at NAMM in 2017.
Huh.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I know Meatloaf has had a real crazy life, and
He just moved here to Nashville, apparently.
unfortunately, that movie should have been a lot better. That's along the lines of the Def Leppard movie that.
Oh, that's the worst.
That it'd be a great story to tell. It just needs. You need to do it right.
Yeah, it was cheesy. All right, so I've got a Canadian hard rock band that I think Rock and Ron loves that I thought I would share.
Canadian what? Horror?
Hard rock band.
Oh, hard rock band.
Who would that be?
Boy, I don't know.
Would it be Triumph?
Triumph? You actually got a Triumph CD?
No, it's actually in April.
Oh, you got a bunch. That's not Triumph.
April Wine, Nature of the Beast. Great record. And it's not Triumph. It's better than Triumph. So, but yeah, anyway. Fight the good fight, though.
Yeah, that Just Between You and Me, that rocks.
I love that April Wine record.
Even if you say it in French.
I used to take French, but I don't know what "it rocks" means in French anymore. So, all right. Yeah, Paul.
No, that is
except
a
for
good.
the Def
That
Leppard
is a
movie,
good
Whittle It
album.
Down. Yeah, it's pretty bad. And then April Wine song. Thank you, Amber Brooke. And then here's one that I found. Sometimes I buy weird albums just to buy them. This is the soundtrack to Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Ooh, yeah.
I've never listened to it, but I own it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just thought it was interesting.
Eat some brownies and sit back and.
Yeah. Performed by the Electric Moog Orchestra.
Electric Mob?
Moog, like M-O-O-G. The Moog.
M-O-O-G. Okay.
Yeah. And I got it for 99 cents, so hopefully I didn't overpay.
Well, did you go and get a copy of the Humpty Dance too now?
I already owned a copy of the Humpty Dance. Thank you very much.
I'm sure you do.
Rolls. Okay. Don't listen to that album while eating mashed potato. Yeah, because you'll end up building a sculpture out of it. True. I overpaid. Come on. No, it's the Close Encounters of the Third Kind. It's a great movie. Doesn't mean the soundtrack's sitting. You know, I went through a phase when I was a little kid that when I first started buying vinyl albums, I would buy movie soundtracks because I'm like, well, I love the movie, so therefore the soundtrack has to be great. Which, as you know, most movie soundtracks are songs that were throwaways that didn't make the actual records. So I had
or they're just instrumental scores.
Yeah, but it's usually bad music. And some of the first vinyl albums I bought were the Ghostbusters soundtrack and the Back to the Future soundtrack and the Footloose soundtrack.
Yeah. Well, now, interesting Back to the Future and Ghostbusters because they're both one and the same, aren't they?
No, they're two different movies, Ron.
No, that's where the lawsuit happened.
Oh, you're talking about the Ray Parker Jr. thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because Huey Lewis, they wanted
sued
Huey
for that.
Lewis to do the Ghostbusters theme.
Well, they wanted.
So he brought in the song. Then they ended up not having him do it.
It's not bad.
And he went on to do something else, but they took the music.
Yeah,
and
it's I Want a
turned it
New
into-
Drug with different lyrics.
Right.
It's the same song.
So it's the same music, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Even though Huey Lewis is in, Huey Lewis is in Back to the Future also.
Yeah, well, that's why he ended up doing that one instead of Ghostbusters, because they promised they'd put him in the movie. So then he did that, but then they went with Ray Parker Jr., but they went and used the same song.
Yeah, which I feel bad for Ray Parker Jr. because he had a bigger career than that. He was like a backup guy for a lot of famous people.
Oh, yeah, he had a bunch of R&B hits and stuff.
But he's only known for that one song.
Yeah.
But like I see why they got sued, because it's a direct ripoff for sure. But no,
a while back I played that for my wife, played the two songs back to back, and she was like, "Yeah, you're right. That's the exact same song, just different lyrics."
Yeah. It's kind of like Kiss's Read My Body with Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Well, okay.
The dude.
It was like when
the movie soundtrack.
I remember seeing a interview with Vanilla Ice when he come out, and he tried to say how it's not a copy of Under Pressure by
because he had
by
one
Queen
note.
because there was like Queen is da da da, mine is da 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 or something like that. I'm like, really? You think that's gonna work?
And then he was like, mine is da 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 da. He added one fucking note.
Yeah.
Douchebag. All right. Well, so I got 4 lined up for Smash or Trash. We want to do Smash or Trash.
Ooh, we do got a Smash or Trash tonight, huh?
Yeah, we got four of them. Here we go.
Smash or Trash.
All right. No wheel, so don't give me shit about it.
I won't.
There's no reason.
You got to talk to yourself for a minute here, though.
What do you mean? Because
I got to take a quick break.
I haven't even taken a break the whole time, and I got to pee.
I know.
All right, take your break.
Sorry, but then I'll let you do it, and I'll talk to myself or something.
All right, I'll take my break after you.
This is what happens when Aaron doesn't show up.
There we go. Fuck the wheel. That's what.
Fuck the wheel. Just chant "fuck the wheel" for a while here.
All right, fuck the wheel. Smash or Trash. So you guys get to see me up close, which is like really unfortunate for you guys. I'm sorry. Even my wife doesn't want to see me this close. Oh yeah. All right. So we got a handful of you watching still. So who else? Paul Korn, you and Natalie are 2 of my favorite people. So I'm assuming you're going to travel from Oklahoma to come to Rockin' Pod this year. Ha ha ha, yeah, fuck the wheel. I agree. The wheel's pointless because we're going to get to every single pick anyway. I don't think you guys are going to be very happy with me once I play the songs this week because they're not really the best. But I tried to do it anyway just so we could have something. Let's see. Who else is watching today? Like, put your location in the comment section to let me know where you're listening to. We would love to. We'll buy a ticket and book a hotel room, please, because we still have hotel rooms to sell. And I've had way too much to drink, so you can probably tell that. Awesome. Same, Mighty K. Mighty K, did you spot yourself in the Rockin' Pod promo video with the look back? As a picture of you and Aaron is in that video if you haven't watched it. Let's see. This sucks doing it by myself. The dude that did the Reservoir Dogs, etc. changed the movie soundtracks. I don't know what that means. Oh, great. Trash all 4. I don't know if you're going to want to trash all 4. I think a couple of them you're going to like. No. You need to check it out because you're in it. It's a good photo of you and Aaron. Let's see what else is on here. And I've got people sending me emails at the same time. She said, I didn't see that. And I watched it. You're in the video. A picture of you and Aaron's in the video, I promise. I'm working in the thriving metropolis of Burnett, Texas. I don't know where that is. How the hell did I miss it? I don't know, but I promise you guys are in it. Aaron's got like 4 photos in the whole thing. You're in one of them for sure. So Rock and Ron, you need to come back from break so I can put you on the spot and let you be here by yourself for a couple of minutes. Yeah. if you're new to the stream, Aaron Camaro is moving, and will be in a better house as of this weekend. But his wife has got him busy doing the honey-do list on packing boxes. I don't feel bad. I feel bad for him because I moved in 2018 and I never want to do it again. This is fun watching you do this. Well, I'm glad somebody's enjoying it. Thanks. I'm glad you're back, Ron, because I'm going to leave you alone now.
Good. So you're doing a good job. I'll go again.
No. You take over. Have fun.
Now
Yourself.
you're going to let me sweat and talk to myself. So, hey, everybody. Rock and Ron here. Let's see. How many of you are still on here? Got a handful of people. It's not dropping off too bad yet. What was him and Christian talking about here? Missed something. Oh, don't cut your hair while you're gone, Chris. Yeah, that'll take a long time. Oh, I'm going to have to read these too. Just like Chris. Oh, Chris did that. Hey, Paul. Good to see you. Are you coming out to Rockin' Pod, Paul? Want to see you again, buddy. I'll officially announce it. I am going to Rockin' Pod, one way or the other. It's going to be a party. Oh, you were in the promo for Rockin' Pod. Well, I wasn't. But that's gonna change this year. I'm never in any of the promo shots because I was always using the video camera and stuff, so I was behind the scenes. But this time I'm putting down the camera and I'm going to be partying with all of you guys. And I am so excited. I can't wait for August. Get through all of this crap I'm going through right now. Yeah, I still don't know if you can talk me into karaoke. I was a karaoke DJ and I was pretty bad for that. So, and yes, Paul, I am in Colorado still. I thought you had already picked out our song. One that Ozzy and Lita, or hope you don't throw the Grease song in on me now or something. Is that all we got? Is Paul and Christian left here? I hope some others are watching. I hope you're enjoying this. I hope you enjoyed Anthony Corder. We got some other guests coming up that Chris has sworn me to secrecy. Yeah, that's a word. We'll go with that. And so I can't announce anything until it actually happens, but we're hoping to have some more Rockin' Pod guests coming up in the next couple of months. And we're working on hopefully special Christmas in July episodes of Friday Night Live. The same as the podcast. We're going to be talking about our favorite rock band and, having some special guests that behind the scenes with Kiss. Thank you, James. Kicking maximum ass. And Amber, good to see you're still on, Amber. Yeah, Anthony is very cool. Cool as hell. Always a happy guy. Love talking to him. And then there's another one, the old Kiki D and Elton John. I don't know if I can do a good Elton John. I don't know if I got big enough sunglasses. Yeah, is that what you was thinking of there, Christian? So I love all the feedback we've been getting from you guys doing this. We've been doing Friday Night Live for 5 months now this week. And I'm actually working on a little highlight reel of putting together some of my favorite moments of the best of Friday Night Live to share with you guys at some point here. Hope that turns out pretty good. Oh, that's right. Should do a Meatloaf with Jim Steinman. I don't know. Yeah, he did. What was that? I would do anything for love, or what? Paradise by the Dashboard Light. You can do that one.
You want to keep going by yourself?
I know, 5 months already. Right? It's gone by quick, but we've gotten a lot of good response, and you guys have been tuning in every week, and we appreciate it.
What is this Kristen's talking about with you and her doing karaoke at Rock and Roll?
I know, she keeps wanting me to do karaoke, and she's picking out songs and stuff to do here. I don't know. Then again, who knows? If I'm in a partying mood, don't know what I could get talked into.
You gonna do Paradise by the Dashboard Light with Mighty K?
Said that in honor of Jen Steinman.
Eddie Trunk, he's the Kiss historian. I'm sorry, James, but I think I know more about Kiss than Eddie Trunk does.
Yeah, I actually think I do too.
Yeah, I do too. That's true. Ellen Foley sings on the song, but Carla DeVito's in the video. That's true.
That's
Amber.
right.
That's very, very good.
And another piece of trivia, Carla DeVito was married to Robbie Benson at the time.
I did not know that.
If anybody remembers Robbie Benson, he was a teen idol with, what was it, Ode to Billy Joel or something like that.
Ode to Billy Joel.
Billy Joe. Oh, I don't know. He jumps off a bridge or something at the end.
He jumps off a bridge.
It was a song.
Okay.
Robbie Benson was in it. He was a teen idol, like Sean Cassidy or whatever.
What did you do with the fucking photo? All right, never mind. I see it now.
Uh-oh.
All right.
What photo do you got now?
I've got photos for 3 of the 4. So we do Smash or Trash to finish this off.
I will be in the parting mood.
Well, I hope you're not in the party mood.
As long as I still got hair, I'll part it.
Yeah, you got the comb over going on.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. Billy McAllister.
Yeah.
Billy Joe McAllister. I don't know.
Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahassee Bridge or something like that. I don't know. It was a 70s song.
I don't know that one. All right. So we want to do Smash or Trash.
Okay. We got a bunch of good ones, right?
Smash or Trash.
I never said that, but all right.
Aaron's not going to be here to defend anybody, so this might be brutal. I hope they're not listening.
We've got a couple from Frontiers and then a couple from Independence. So
okay.
The first one is from a band from Frontiers called Chalice of Sin, and the song is called Chalice of Sin.
I need to find the picture here. Chalice of Sin.
Yeah, it's on there. Chalice of Sin is
that's a terrible picture.
Do you want me to read the hype stuff here real quick?
Yeah, because I don't know what the hell that picture is.
Chalice of Sin is a sensational new heavy metal machine masterminded by vocalist Wade Black. And his credits are Crimson Glory, Seven Witches, and Leatherwolf, who started working on new music for the project in 2019 after sharing some music with the Frontiers label, who hooked him up with the label's in-house powerhouse producer, Alessandro Del Vecchio, Work really began in earnest on Chalice of Sin. The resulting album is a tremendous example of classic heavy metal sounds akin to Savatage, Crimson Glory, Metal Church, an absolute must of all lovers for classic heavy metal music from the 80s and early 90s. This is Chalice of Sin with Chalice of Sin. So check it out. Oh. Needs to be louder.
To Bremen, Ohio now. Huh? Yeah, I don't think so. Not Mr. Tinker Train. Yes, I don't have to be brutal.
All right, I think it's kind of unanimous on that one.
Yeah, sounds like it.
So, trash on that one, it looks like.
I'll actually... It's still trash, but
musically,
as far as heavy metal goes, it's not that bad. At least it wasn't Cookie Monster. The guy could sing decently, and you could understand the lyrics
problem
or
with
whatever. But
I think the vocals are horrific. I don't like the vocals at all.
Well, at least I could understand the vocals, or I could make words out. So it wasn't too far on the heavy metal side, but I'm not a heavy metal guy, so
I'd rather have a root canal. All right. so that one didn't go over well.
If you have a root canal while that's playing, then you probably wouldn't feel the pain then.
All right, the next one is Jeff Carlson Band with a song called Over My Shoulder. This comes from RFL Records. For fans of Tesla, for fans of Tesla, Journey, Kiss, Dokken, etc., there are plenty of influences to describe what these guys are all about. The band delivers a high dosage of hooks with their melodic hard rock style that taps into the glory days of the late 80s and early 90s. There's a theme here. And pulls the energy into a new millennium. With heavy guitars, high energy melodies, and heart-pounding backbeat, Jeff Carlson Band blasts the arena rock style,
the bland band,
into the spotlight and into the ears of today's hard rock fans. This is the Jeff Carlson Band with a song called Over My Shoulder.
I'd say they're putting themselves in some pretty big categories comparison there. So
Chalice of Sinzak. This one I like better personally.
Yeah, the riff is better. That I do.
let it go a little bit.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the chorus.
My mind was blank, but I push on. And when I'm done, you'll have this song. I hit the wall, but that means nothing. I close my eyes and give you something. I give you
So that's kind of the chorus, I guess.
I don't know.
Not
It
a strong chorus.
wasn't bad, but it was kind of bland. Like we said, bland band, kind of generic.
I'd give it a smash compared to the first song.
Well, yeah.
It's okay. All right. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. So that is the chorus I get. Yeah, that's basically the chorus. Not much of a chorus. It doesn't tickle my fancy fully. I'm gonna
okay then.
that one, mighty.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
It's more smash than trash, but like 51-49. Okay. It's all right.
Sigh.
I didn't get all these in tonight, so. All right. I had to get them all in before we were done. All right. So,
when you going to start adding there?
I'm lazy. The next one I do not have a photo for. So this is a band on Frontier. It's called Sonic Haven.
Okay.
Frontier's Music is excited to announce the signing of Germany's Sonic Haven, a new band conceived and fronted by vocalist Herbie Langens, one of the most gifted metal singers of the scene. His voice has gained him international recognition both as a studio singer and as a member of the bands Avantasia, Voodoo Circle, Sinbreed, Beyond the Bridge, and recently Firewind. Sonic Haven joins Frontier's ever-expanding roster of metal bands.
Herbie Langens.
Herbie Langens.
The next metal god.
Yes,
Okay.
This is Sonic Haven with a song called Vagabond.
Ooh.
Musically, it's damn good. Vocally,
I'd say I'm not a metal guy, but actually that was pretty good.
I like the music a lot. In the middle. Meh. All right.
Meh.
Tough crowd tonight.
Yeah. I don't know that I could jam to it a lot, or
I'd give it a smash
whatever.
musically alone. Herbie's not so great vocally, but I think the music was good.
You don't think Herbie's the next metal god?
No, I agree with Paul Korn. He's the next metal accountant. Not too much my speed vocally, but musically really good. Drummer and guitar player great. All right, we got one more. So the last one for tonight is a band called Misfire with a song called Skin of Mirrors. And here's the little write-up.
Is this on Frontiers?
No.
No.
This is thrashier. In 2004, at the age of 13 and 14, James Nicodemus and guitarist Jay Johnson formed what ended up becoming the thrash metal band Diamond Plate. In 2007, Jay left that band and has since released multiple solo projects. Diamond Plate went on to be signed by Earache Records for 2 albums. Earache Records, also the home of Massive Wagons, one of my favorite bands, and played multiple tours and shows with Overkill, Death Angel, Testament, Megadeth, DRI, and many more. Fast forward to 2018, James Nicodemus, Tommy Denninger of End of Sanity, and Sean Coogan of Vitriol formed Misfire. Shortly after, Tommy decided to follow a different path, so James called the only man for the job his old friend Jay Johnson, a decision that would ultimately solidify Misfire's lineup. So, last song for the night, this is a band called Misfire with a song called Skin of Mirrors.
Skin of Mirrors. You always surprise me, Christian.
Well, let it go a little bit.
Excuse me.
That's a good riff. I'm going to get more hate, but I think that was the best thing we've played tonight, personally.
See, that's what I was talking about with the cookie stuff. I just can't do that. So I would give the other metal one higher than that. The riff was good. Yeah.
I'll give that a smash just because I like thrash metal, but I know that's not for everybody, but I liked it. Okay. It was not bad.
Yeah, that's your thing.
So kind of mixed reviews on this one. So Mighty K's on my team on this one. I liked it. I thought I wouldn't mind. I want to hear more of their stuff personally. Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Well, you listen to more and you let me know what you think.
Okay. I'll listen for both of us. Okay.
Unfortunately, I gotta say, because I got of course the Ronnie Atkins, the End Machine, and the new Cheap Trick last week.
I still have to listen to that Cheap Trick one.
I'll always love Cheap Trick, and I'm glad they're putting out new stuff. But yeah, this one just didn't do anything for me. Didn't wow me. And
most Cheap Trick does that for me.
I'll have to let the other two grow on me a little bit more, but they seemed more ballady pop
Yeah.
than
Well, I like
what
ballads, so
I
maybe
was
I'll dig it.
thinking. Well, I mean,
Alright.
poppy, like, you know, I thought it seemed like there was more rock to them when I was sampling them and stuff, and then when I hear the whole things, they're about, you know, you win some, you lose some.
All right.
I don't know.
All right, Ron. 2 hours has passed. We are
Wow,
done.
we did it.
Thanks to Anthony Corder for coming on. Hope appreciate him letting us go down memory lane with him, and a lot of great stories there. And Ron, great to see you again, my friend. We will we'll do it again a week from today.
Same here, and yep, can't wait
And
for next week now.
Aaron will be broadcasting from his new home by then.
Yeah, we'll see if he's got his collection up by then.
Probably not. But we'll
probably
get him
not. I would
Thanks,
I would
Michael
think that's going to take him a while to
Yeah.
get settled in with that CD collection, but hopefully he'll be back with us. Hopefully, you know, we'll see what kind of guests maybe we can line up for next week, or
Either way, or
You know.
it'll just be the three of us knuckleheads. Either way, it'll be fun either way.
hopefully we may get some more Rockin' Pod news.
Oh, there will definitely be more Rock and Pod news by next week. I'm sure of that.
Cool. And as I kind of spilled the beans to people, although you don't really know it, and I said I'm looking at us doing more of a Christmas in July themed episodes for the Friday Night Live to go along with the podcast. So we'll see if we can
We'll do that, but
line up some people that's got some connections with Kiss and that for July, just before we head out in August.
Well, we'll do another regular Friday Night Live next week, but the week after, we're looking at maybe doing the 10th anniversary celebration of Decibel Geek.
I knew that was coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, with this, as of this past, like 5 days ago, we had our 10th birthday, so we'll do it officially. We'll do it on the podcast, and then we'll also do a.
Well, I know you was
Friday night.
You was looking at doing it officially as when Aaron come on, didn't he?
Yeah.
He came on what, the 7th episode, was it?
Something like that. But probably in a couple of weeks, we'll just go ahead and do it because things are going to get crazy for me after that.
Yeah.
But
well, I look forward to it. Hopefully we can do something good here.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody have a great week. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you
thanks,
next
everybody.
Friday. Bye.
Bye.
Take us out.